Do you think the multinational companies around the world
Yes.
are concerned about what is going on between China and the U.S., particularly in those industries that in Asia which are closely linked through a single value chain?
Yes, that's true. Global value chain network is so important for the Asian development, including China and Japan. And due to this existence of very widespread global value chain, implies the current trade dispute between China and the United States, not only the problem for China, but also Japan and other countries involved.
But how big do you think the shock will be if Donald Trump followed through on those tariffs policies, 100 billion tariffs on products from China? That included those things that made in China, but the products, components from elsewhere.
Yes, that depends on the, this escalation of trade dispute. Now, for instance, if President Trump takes another additional protective measures, and also Chinese government will take countermeasures against this measure, then trade escalation. We had the experience before the war. This trade war led to what? Led to currency war, and also real war. Therefore, this is a very dangerous policy now President Trump is adopting, just reversing the trend toward the international liberal order, which was constructed and which was created by U.S. But U.S. itself is now reversing this trend in the post-war era. This is quite unfortunate, for the world economy as a whole.
But interestingly, the similar scenario happened between U.S. and Japan 30 years ago.
That's right.
Basically, you form an agreement, plus accord. Some believe dragged down Japanese manufacturing and resulted in several decades of recession. Do you think this old story once again?
Oh, that is so a serious problem for that. In the mid-1980s, you said, Plaza Accord, there has been an agreement on the exchange rate realignment. There, dollar depreciated very sharply, yen appreciated very sharply. And this appreciation, yen, continued about a decade, from 85, 95, This had the quite serious effect on the Japanese economy. And at the same time, in 1990, we had the bubble burst. And the two problems combined. Then our economy suffered these two problems at the same time, and also more longer term perspective. We have the population decline, smaller number of children, increased age of people after retirement. How to support them? These are three problems comes together in the course of 1990s. But I have some similarity. Trade dispute happened in mid-80s. You face this trade dispute from the United States, and also population decline.
But
and also this digesting,
but
this non-performing.
What is different is that China will not bow down to the pressure from the U.S. and appreciate its currency. That's very improbable.
Improbable. That depends on this policy. For instance, I'm afraid now recently U.S. has renegotiation on the Korean-U.S. FTA, where there has been a temporary agreement, that between Korea and China. One of the items I'm concerned is currency clause, that is prohibiting the manipulation of exchange rate and also increasing transparency.
What do you think will happen on the currency side?
The currency side, this is always U.S. side arguing, that the currency matters to resolve the trade issue. This is the position by U.S. government, but I don't take this position. This is wrong position. Trade is trade. Exchange rate policy is more relating to the monetary and macroeconomic issue. So what we have argued, Japanese side, during this course of trade dispute, we argued, if U.S. wants to cut down trade deficit, you should increase your saving by cutting down budget deficit or increasing household saving.
But that
only by this means, only by this means, U.S. can cut down the trade deficit. But I find that President Trump has the wrong perception, or the wrong interpretation.
I totally agree with you, but it will be very painful for America to become a saver and spend less. That will take a lot of efforts and political capital. It won't happen in the U.S.
Yes, but we argued in that way, as a counter-argument. when U.S. requested, please cut down your trade surplus vis-a-vis United States. Macro issue is also involved, on this total trade balance. This is very important point, which was sometimes disregarded. And also this is associated with exchange rate problem. I should be, I argue, exchange rate must be left to the market.
But you are assuming that President Trump will listen to sense. The problem is probably we won't make this a sellable thing to Mr. Trump. What can China and to a larger extent Japan do to send a message to America?
Sending a message. Just on our side, I strongly argue. TPP you mentioned. We want to have this free trade agreement among Pacific.
You didn't convince him to join the TPP.
Unfortunately, President Trump withdrawn. But we continue to work on United States by maintaining TPP 11, and maybe allow for additional members, including Korea or Indonesia and Thailand. Maybe possible to expand this free trade agreement, and hope U.S. will come back to this TPP. But President Trump apparently arguing, now the Prime Minister Abe going to United States 17th, 18th, there where they discuss about North Korean issue and also trade issue. And maybe in this meeting, President Trump will make proposal. Shall we start bilateral FTA negotiation
rather than multilateral agreement like TPP?
Yeah, but if we look at the outcome of Korean and United States free trade agreement and or the NAFTA, the negotiation, the aim of by the President Trump very clear. Without the reduction of deficit on the side of the United States,
no trade agreement.
No agreement. So
that would be difficult for all parties.
Therefore, just I favor the approach, more multilateral,
But are you optimistic?
Still working, This is only way,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's success or failure, that's the only way we can adopt, Working on United States to maintain multilateral, free trade and investment regime.
The only way.
Yeah,
but whether you can sell that to the American side is still a question.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Iwata.
Yeah.
Thank you for your analysis.
Okay.